all these emotions I have inside of me, get them out. And I think I've learned that I'm a very emotional person, and I think I have something to say as an artist on my own. Hey, it's Luke Hemmings, and this is Billboard News.
Hey everybody, it's Rania Niftos and welcome back to Billboard News. We have such an exciting guest in the studio today. We have the one and only Luke Hemmings. Welcome.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So the new single Shakes, it sounds so great. I love this next era for you. Tell me a bit about the inspiration behind it, the songwriting process.
Shakes was written like maybe a year ago at this point, and it started in New York. I'd already had like a few ideas for the album from like writing on the road, and like a lot of it was written in hotels and like planes and all the sad, boring places. So that's where a lot of it came from. But
the introspective places.
Yeah, very introspective. And this was written, the chorus was written in New York, and I was like experimenting with pitching my voice. That's why the chorus kind of sounds like me, but it also has like other layers of like pitch vocals. Anyway, very boring, nerdy stuff. But I was getting like more, I don't know, just trying out stuff, so I was experimenting with different perspectives. The first album was very like coming from my experiences and like how I see things. So I was like, let's try something else, not thinking that it would turn out to be the first single. And then like 9 months later wrote the verses for it. And yeah, I was trying to just listen to a lot of like the Verve and Blur and M83 and Beach House and stuff. So that's kind of where the inspiration came from. But the way I write songs for this project is very chaotic.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, I'll write a piece here and then like won't write anything on the rest of it for like 9 months. So it'll like turn out to be this mishmash of, I don't know, a story, but it still has that same emotion and feeling.
Jigsaw puzzle of
yes,
music.
Definitely. It's a very frustrating way to work, but it just works for this solo thing.
Well, that's what I was about to say, because this song, to me, even though it feels like still you, feels kind of a continuation of your previous solo project, but it does feel a little bit more experimentative. Is that something that you've been playing with for a future project, the project that this is going to be part of?
Well, the first album was it was in COVID, it was very like, you know, extenuating circumstances for everyone,
right.
But I was sort of figuring out what the sound was at that point, and this upcoming project and a bunch of songs is very closer to what I think the project should be. I was experimenting all the time. That's kind of the point of it, you know, to have like a little playground to play in outside of what I know really well, which is the band. So the whole point is to experiment with different lyrics and sounds and emotions and all of that stuff. So it definitely is, it's, even though I said it was, you know, a frustrating way to work, it is very fun and it's like rewarding. And after COVID and all of that, you know, making the first album, I fell in love with that process and the challenge of making stuff on my own, and yeah, that's why we're here.
That is probably a big challenge, kind of shifting away from 10 years of working in a band and songwriting together with 3 of your friends with a close group and making songs that fit for a group versus this is me, the artist, Luke Hemmings, how do I want to portray myself?
It is scary, you know. It's less scary, well actually it's not as, I was gonna say it's less scary this time, but that's actually the same amount, if not more, you know. But it is different, but it's just a challenge, you know. As a songwriter, I just want to be better at what I do, and I think I love making songs with the band and making, you know, I've known them, you know, we started the band when I was 15, so to be here still making songs as a band is really cool, and I love stepping into that role. But at the same time, after that amount of time, like we're in each other's heads all the time, like even songwriting and making music I know I can go to anyone in the band and be like, you know, how do I finish this? Or, you know, we write songs so much that it becomes a bit second nature to do that. So to be able to do it on my own is scary, but it is very rewarding to be like, I can, you know, my identity is very attached to the band, and to be able to make something on my own is really hard, but it's really rewarding, you know?
Yeah, it's cool. It feels like we're watching you learn your own creative process in real time, which is
just
so
me
fun.
fumbling around,
Barely.
trying to figure it out.
With the upcoming project, what version of Luke are you trying, I think, to introduce, or where are you at right now that you'd like to portray, I guess?
As you get, as you get a bit older, well, I sound like an old man saying that, but as you get a bit older, you hopefully try and learn more about yourself. And I think I've learned that, we started very young, and a lot of my identity and sometimes self-worth is attached to the band, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think being, I'm 27 now and we started when I was 15. I don't know, I wanted to push forward and all these emotions I have inside of me, get them out. And I think I've learned that I'm a very emotional person, and I think I have something to say as an artist on my own, and that's why we're here. I think that's why any artist does anything, that they feel they have something inside themselves they want to get out,
I'm sure it's very validating too, in the sense of you can trust yourself now, or feel like maybe you can trust yourself more, in the sense that like your whole formative years were in a band. To have a solo project that did so well with fans looking forward to more of it must feel so validating.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it's been super nice. I was making stuff of my own. I was like, is anyone gonna like this?
Yeah.
Will anyone relate to this? And people did, and it was encouraging. I played a couple shows on my own, and it did. It was like, because like I said, it was in COVID, so to be able to have people in front of you singing the songs that you made from like these really dark and like intense personal emotions, having people sing them back and understand, I was like, even before we played those shows, I was like, did anyone like this?
Right.
So it gave me encouragement to do more stuff on my own and explore it more. And it's all very me trying to understand, it's how I see the world and how, I feel a lot of the time. It's all very melancholy and personal and existential and all those ethereal. We're talking about that. All those things, and it's just trying to give a window into how I see the world, which sounds really artsy-fartsy, but it's, it's how I feel.
And I think it's capturing a very universal feeling. I mean, I'm also in my late 20s, and I feel like that feeling of transitioning from young adult to full-blown adult is very existential and very strange and confusing, and
Definitely.
I feel like it's something relatable, and it's a cool thing for you to be able to express that artistically, and I love that.
Well, thank you. And over the last couple of years, as in going into late 20s, I've been touring a lot with the band, and a lot of that time I'm spending on vocal rest because the shows are quite hard to sing, which means like you don't talk a lot, so it was a lot of like hotels and planes, like writing on the hotel pad with the little hotel pencil or whatever they give you, and it was very existential, and I was like, that longing to like go home, and like that loneliness is really portrayed in this music, and I'm really proud of that. It's hard to get that middle balance of not being too like sad and not being obviously too boppy and happy, and I think being in that melancholy spot was what I was really aiming for.
I mean, you did a wonderful job.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Speaking of the performing, how was that transition going from performing in a band to performing as a solo artist?
I was very nervous for it.
Yeah.
I've only played 2 shows.
One at the Fonda here in LA, that was cool.
Yes. Yeah, 2 shows at the Fonda, and it was very scary. It was very nerve-wracking. Like I said, I've only ever been in the band and played shows part of the band, so it was scary. But like I said, it was when I was playing those shows, I still, after COVID and putting out the first album, I still was like internally like, are people gonna like the songs? Are they gonna know them? Like, what's going on? And it was super emotional, to hear all these things that I'd written in my house or wherever it was at the time, being sung back. It was really cool.
It also must be special to hear that in such a smaller venue than probably what you've been touring in the past couple of years. It must feel so much more intimate to hear those voices singing back to you.
It was, like I said, I'm very comfortable in the band role, and I love being that person in Five Sauce. So doing something outside of it and playing something like a show outside of it was I was nervous and very scared, and that is not something I really experience anymore with the band. So it wasn't fun at the time feeling it, but
in hindsight.
I'm trying, new year, new me, trying to do
New
things
mindset, new perspective.
trying to like push myself outside the comfort zone a little bit,
Yeah.
which I think hopefully any good things can come from that.
For sure. And speaking of the new music as well, have the Five Sauce guys heard the songs you've been working on yet, or you've been keeping it?
I have played a little bit, but I've been keeping it too. I try not to play it to too many people, honestly.
Right.
It's
Overwhelming with the opinions.
It's overwhelming. I'm very, because the whole point is to like try and, I don't know, stand on my own 2 feet and be like, I think this is good. But I will play
yourself.
But I will play it to them for sure. You know,
No, it's good. It's a good, I think, practice. Again, even transitioning away from the solo, from the band to the solo, you're like, no, this is my stuff. I need to trust myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What are some of the key differences, do you think, between performing at these huge arenas versus something like the Fonda that's a little more theater-based?
I think it's definitely more personal. I don't know, I like them both for different reasons. I think they're, you know, with arenas, there's a bit more of this, a bit more pointing up to the stands, you know, a bit more Mick Jagger. Yeah. I don't know, it's a bigger energy, a bigger character. You know, you've got to step into those shoes. I'm more of an introvert, so, you know, it's just turning up the extrovert a little bit. But I like playing, it's all good. It's all cool.
Fans, yeah.
It's all great. I think, I don't know, it's just you can see people's faces, which is nice.
You can just actually look at them instead of the lights blinding you.
Yeah, exactly.
5 Seconds of Summer got their start by posting covers on YouTube, which was a very, of the time, that was the first kind of foray into social media stars, I guess, or music from social media. And now, TikTok is such a big thing.
Yep.
How has it felt being someone who grew from that social media platform, seeing how TikTok has influenced music so much?
We've seen like lots of those social media things come and go, so when another big one pops up, you're like, well, this is gonna be a thing, and then maybe dwindle out. And it certainly hasn't with TikTok, so
it's keep going.
it's here to stay.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it's cool. I think obviously there's positives and negatives, like there was when we started on YouTube. You know, there's people that are really great that come from it, and there's people that maybe are, I don't know,
but it's
doing their best.
It gives people more opportunity. I think people who don't have connections.
And I can relate to all the TikTok stuff because, you know, like you said, we started there. There was no outlet for us being from the suburbs of Western Sydney to get our music out there. So that was the only way, and I can resonate with anyone that tries to do that on any platform, but obviously TikTok is a huge one right now. Wherever they live and don't have any connection to the music industry or any knowledge of how to book shows or any of that stuff, I can always resonate with people putting themselves out there. You know, 'cause that's what we had to do.
100% obviously worked out great.
Yeah.
And lastly, with this new project, with Shakes, with the rest of the album, what do you want fans to take away from this?
I think these songs, I'm very like private person, like online and socially, and so I think these songs are very much a window into how I see things and how I see the world, I guess. So I think it's just, I don't know, stepping into, I don't know, how I see things, and hope they feel it, hope they resonate with it on a personal level. It's very, I don't know, it feels like a very human experience, bunch of songs, so hope they enjoy it, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, they already have.
Well, yeah.
But thank you so much, Luke. I'm
Thank
such
you.
a big fan of yours, and congratulations on the new single.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.